Okay, so when you think about financial risk, what's the first thing that pops into your head? A stock market crash, right? Or maybe a bad investment. But what if I told you the biggest risk to your money could be, well, doing absolutely nothing with it? Let's dig into why the safe option might just be the most dangerous one of all. And this brings us to a tale of two friends, Ali and Abdul Khalek. Now, both of these guys started out with a serious amount of cash, but their financial stories, they went in completely opposite directions. And understanding why? Well, that's the key to everything we're about to talk about. So, let's meet our two guys. On one side, you've got Ali, the investor. He believed that money should be an active employee, always out there working for him. And on the other side, we have Abdel Khalek, the saver. He saw his bank account as a fortress, the safest place to protect his fortune. As you're about to see, these two very different philosophies led to some, well, shockingly different results.
First, let's look at Ali. He took his philosophy and ran with it. He took his initial $100,000 and, through smart, diversified investing, grew it into a net worth of nearly $400,000 in just 5 years. We're talking a house, a car, land, all while his original money just kept on growing. He literally made his money work for him, even while he slept.
Okay, now for Abdul Khalek. Remember, he started with way more, $350,000. And he just kept it in the bank. After only 3.5 years, the value of that money, what it could actually buy, was sliced in half. His $350,000 now had the purchasing power of just $175,000. Get this, he didn't spend a single dime, and yet he lost a fortune. How is that even possible?
To really get what happened to Abdel Khalek, we need to pull back the curtain and expose the hidden enemy that just eats away at idle cash. This is the invisible force that's always working against you when your money isn't working for you. And that enemy? It has a name: inflation. Think of it as a silent thief. It's the reason everything from your groceries to your gas seems to get more expensive over time. And what that means is that every single dollar you have tucked away buys a little bit less tomorrow than it did today. It is, without a doubt, a guaranteed loss. And this chart, wow! It shows the damage in stark black and white. That big bar on the left, that was Abdel Khalek's cash a few years back. The smaller one on the right, that's what it can actually buy today. We're talking a staggering 50% loss in purchasing power. And the craziest part? He didn't make a single bad decision. His safe choice turned out to be the riskiest move of all.
So here's the bottom line, the really crucial point. Cash is not for building wealth. Its real job is to be your emergency fund, to give you liquidity for those unexpected expenses. When the car breaks down or you need a plumber. Treating your savings account like a long-term growth strategy is like trying to build a house with only a screwdriver. It's the wrong tool for the job.
All right, so if just saving your money is basically a losing game, how did Ali win so spectacularly? Let's flip the script and look at his side of the story. You see, he succeeded because he tapped into one of the most powerful forces in the entire world of finance. He did it through investing. And put simply, investing is all about mobilizing your money. Instead of letting it just sit there, you put it into assets, things like stocks, real estate, funds that have the potential to grow and make even more money for you. It's really the difference between being a passenger in your financial life and getting into the driver's seat. And the secret sauce, the real engine behind this whole thing, is compounding. Just look at this example to see how it works. In year one, a 50% return on $100,000 is $50,000. Easy enough. But in year two, you're earning a return on the new total, the whole $150,000. Your profits start earning their own profits. The growth just starts to snowball. And this principle is exactly how investors like Ali build real fortunes over time. Of course, I know what you're thinking. The second I say the word investing, this other big, scary word pops into your head: risk. And look, that's a totally valid concern. But risk isn't something you need to be afraid of. It's just something you need to manage. So let's break down a practical playbook for doing just that. So you've basically got three main flavors of risk. Market risk is the external stuff, big economic shifts that are totally out of your control. Then there's asset risk, which is about your specific choices, like maybe putting all your money into one single company. But look at that last one, behavior risk. This is the risk that comes from inside your own head, from your own emotions. And honestly, it's by far the most dangerous of the three. Yep, your own emotions can be your absolute biggest enemy. It's this wild emotional roller coaster, right?
You see an asset just skyrocketing, and that FOMO, the fear of missing out, kicks in, so you buy at the very top. Then, when the market takes a dip, fear completely takes over, and you panic sell at the bottom. And just like that, you've turned what was a temporary dip on paper into a very permanent, very real loss. Taming these two impulses, that's the whole game.
So how do you actually manage all of this? Well, the source material lays out something called a golden treatment. 5 key remedies. They are diversification, understanding your time horizon, starting small, always learning, and having a clear goal. We're going to focus on the most important one to get you started, diversification.
All right, rule number 1, the absolute cornerstone is diversification. You've heard it a million times, don't put all your eggs in one basket. By spreading your money across different kinds of assets, some high-risk stuff for growth, some low-risk things for stability, and of course some cash for emergencies, you build a portfolio that can actually weather pretty much any storm. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually start? How do you make that jump from being an abdicalic, the saver, to becoming an Ali, the investor? Let's walk through a clear, actionable roadmap for anyone who's ready to take that first step.
All right, here it is, your 5-step plan. Step 1, and this is non-negotiable. Before you invest a single dollar, build up that cash emergency fund. This is your safety net. Step 2, get aggressive and pay down any high-interest debt, like credit cards. That debt is a guaranteed loss that will just erase your investment gains. Third, and this one's huge, define your goals. Are you investing for retirement in 30 years or for a house in 5? Your timeline changes everything. Fourth, start small. You don't need a fortune to get in the game. You just need to begin. And finally, number 5, stay curious. Keep learning. The financial world is always changing.
You know, when you really boil it all down, the biggest obstacle isn't a market crash or picking the wrong stock. It's just inertia. It's that financial laziness that keeps your money sitting on the sidelines, losing value day after day, just like what happened to Abdelkalek. Taking that first small step is always the hardest part, but it's also the most important.
So, we've covered a ton of the practical strategies, the nuts and bolts, but the source offers one last piece of advice that kind of goes beyond the numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a principle for both building wealth and, well, for your overall well-being.
This is what the source calls the diamond rule. The idea here is that by dedicating a portion of your gains to charity, it brings what's called a blessing, or baraka, that not only protects your wealth but also opens you up to new opportunities. It's a pretty profound idea that shifts the whole focus from just accumulating money to circulating it for a greater good.
So, let's just leave it with this final thought. Whether you realize it or not, your money is never, ever standing still. It's either being eaten away by inflation or it's being put to work to grow. There is no neutral ground. There just isn't. So the only real question you have to answer is, which direction are you going to choose?